Hi Willy Thistlers, it's Rachel from Barkland Croft here in Fair Isle. Well, as I'm recording this, we currently have no power on the Isle, so we're without electricity. Luckily, I have a gas cooker, so I was able to make myself a coffee this morning and light some candles, so it wasn't all bad. We've had gales here for the past couple of days with the winds around about 65 miles an hour, which isn't unusual at all for this time of year for here, but it does make things such as feeding the sheep a whole lot more difficult, as you'll see from the next couple of clips. Last month's travels to visit my family already seem a distant memory, but one thing I did just want to share with you is this gorgeous cardigan that my sister crocheted for me. I had no idea that she was making anything for me, and it fits me absolutely perfectly and I just love it. So huge thanks to my sister for making that for me. It's lovely to wear. With the price of vegetables here on the Isle obscenely high, I brought a big holdall full of vegetables back with me from my holiday. So I've been spending the last few weeks in the evenings making up loads of things for the freezer to see me through the winter and springtime. The only downside to working with red cabbage and beetroot though is these colour hands. Thank you to everyone that has supported me and the sheep by adopting a sheep from me, virtually of course. Just to let you all know that all of the locks of fleeces from your sheep have been mailed out to you. The last of these were sent out at the beginning of November, and I believe they are taking a few weeks to reach North America, but hopefully you should receive those soon. If you haven't received yours, please do feel free to drop me a message, an email, and I can check when yours was posted for you. The start of November brought some wet and windy weather to the Isle, but for those of us that have sheep on a shared area of grazing, we still needed to do some maintenance work, putting up extra fencing to build a new race and crew so that we could car the sheep in. In bad weather conditions, the stone ruins in my fields really are a godsend, as they provide really good shelter for the sheep. The following day could not have been more of a contrast. The temperature felt like it was May or June, people were wearing t-shirts. It really was incredible to think that this was early November. Walking down to the pier to meet the boat, you go past the new bird observatory, which, as you can see, is really coming on apace now. With our island ferry, the Good Shepherd, away on refit for a few weeks, we had the Snolder come in as a replacement. Because it's a much bigger boat, it was able to bring in all of the silage bales from Shetlands that I'd purchased in at once, which was fantastic. And it's simply down to the generosity of people such as yourselves who have supported me on Patreon and also by adopting sheep that I've been able to buy in all of this winter feed for my sheep. So thank you. I was able to buy in 140 bales, and that should feed the sheep for between about 9 and 10 weeks. We commemorated Remembrance Sunday at chapel, followed by a visit down to the kirkyard where we lay a wreath at the war memorial. With it being a relatively mild and dry day, it was a good opportunity once back home to get the sheep in. So what I've been doing here is got the sheep into the field there with Meg, who you can just see, and those are the ones I've already had in and had a look at, and I've been getting them in a batch at a time. There's Curly Whirly saying hello, and treating any ones that have been limping, just checking their feet, making sure they're all in reasonable condition, and then separating out 3 that of my sort of really old girls. There's Lorenzo, that I want to bring over for the winter so that they can have more shelter, and I'm able to give them a few more extra rations each day. With it getting dark so early now, I really was working until the last bit of daylight left the sky. So this was about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I think this was just about as I was going to bring the last sheep over the road into the garden. So it was pretty dark by that point. So Sandy is one of the girls that I've brought over. She's this one just here at the back in with Rainbow Bright, and I've brought her over into sort of the garden space and by her because she has lost her sight. I don't know if it's a total loss, but certainly she's had a significant loss of sight. It might just be age related. She's one of my very old girls, but I didn't want to sort of leave her for the winter in the main field. Obviously with it being completely dark, I didn't want to just bring her out into the garden where she doesn't know kind of her pathway, she doesn't know where things are. So I've put her in a stall with Rainbow Bright for the night. They've got some sheep nuts, tub of water, some hay, and a nice straw bed for the night, and then we'll get her outside in the morning. So here we are. This is Sandy outside, and Minnie Milk has decided that he wants her to be his girlfriend. I'm not sure how Sandy feels about that. You can just see off to the right there's Baba and Brownie, who are 2 of my really ancient girls that I also brought over for the winter. This just means that they've got access to the buyer sort of warm straw beds for shelter whenever they want it, and they can get extra feed rations each day. So it'll take a little while for them to settle down, but they'll be fine, and hopefully Minnie Milk will calm down. With the temperatures starting to drop now and the grass really becoming thin on the ground, I've started feeding all of the sheep now. So this is the yows field, mainly yows, but a few of the wethers as well. That's the castrated boys. So they seem pretty happy. We've also had some incredibly beautiful sunrises and starts to the morning. Unfortunately, they don't always last as nicely as they look, but it's very nice to enjoy them for a while. And of course there's always one who doesn't want to join the others for breakfast and thinks that they should get their own personal breakfast buffet brought to them, and in this case it's saucepan. into the second half of November, we had about 5 days where the weather was just unbelievable for this time of year. Relatively calm, sunny, dry. It was great for getting laundry done and dried outside. I do have one bit of sad news to share with you. Some of you may remember Humpty. He's one of my special needs sheep. He was born with a partial cleft palate, so he always needed a bit of extra care, and he was sort of very sneezy and snuffly, so he had to have daily face and nose cleans, but he was just the most gentle soul. Sadly, whilst I was away on holiday with my family, he passed away. So it was sad that I wasn't able to say goodbye to him. But sweet boy Humpty. But to end on a brighter note, I just wanted to wish all of you that celebrate it a very happy Thanksgiving. I hope you had a wonderful day spent with friends and family and enjoying it. And here's an old photo from a few years ago of a very young Blossom with her Thanksgiving turkey friend. Bye for now, and we'll see you next time.